How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments Unhinged. So yeah, PSA is now going to start grading signatures. I figure we should take a look at that. Yeah, they're going to take signatures. So if you have an autograph on a comic book, they'll now grade those. Before they didn't have that, but that starts October 1st. Also, CGC has a few changes. They changed their label, so we'll take a look at that. A lot of little changes. I figured I'd just make a video encompassing all of them. But let's look at the PSA stuff. I'll make me small. Here we go. Okay, so launches, signature, signed, comic books and magazine. We knew this was coming. The crazy thing was why it took so long. Like when CGC finally came out with, if it's already signed, yes, if you're there, if you're physically there, they have that signing, you get the gold label. But why it took them so long to have autographs that are on the comic already and you send it in and they're like, yeah. I don't know why, but then it even took longer for a magazine. But PSA out of the get, they're just like, we're doing it. But these are the pictures. Now, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. No, yeah, let's zoom in a lot a bit. I don't know where they went. Let's zoom out. I think the picture is gone. Where? There it is. Okay, but you can't really tell. But it'll say 9.8 up there. And auto 9, and you might be on, what does that mean? Or this one on this Batman, it'll say 9.8 auto 10. So this is what they look like. They're basically the same red, but they just say auto. On the left hand side, you're not going to tell because they refuse to make their font any bigger. They literally want to make it the smallest font ever. So, but if I can kind of see, and it'll say signed by. No, I can't see. It says autographed by Jim. I'm looking at the next one. Autographed by Jim Lee and Scott Williams. So yes, that'll be what it'll look like, the signatures. Now a lot of people will be confused by this, but if you're into cards, you know what the other number reads. So it'll be the 9.8, and it'll say auto 9, auto 10. What does that even mean? If you're familiar with cards, you'll know this. But PSA grades the autographed as well. And you're like, what do you mean grades the autograph? So have you ever gotten an autograph and maybe the person signing it, they smudged it with their hand or they put another book on top of it and it kind of got, maybe the ink didn't dry properly, it kind of got smudged, maybe speckled or any of that kind of stuff. So they'll grade the autograph based off that. They also grade it out based off placement, where it is, like if it's in a good spot. Also, they grade on the authenticity of, or how I should say this, you know how some people have an autograph and it's kind of sloppy and then sometimes they'll do it like really nice? They'll grade that as well. So if Stan Lee does like a crappy signature, just like, get out of here, kid, be gone, and just bleh, and it's just like, it doesn't look like it's traditional, they'll downgrade that. In my experience, I have never, ever seen an auto 8 or below, or sorry, below 8. I've seen, most of them are auto 10s. I've seen some auto 9s. And very rarely I'll see an auto 8. But I've never seen an auto like 7, 6, any of that stuff. So I don't think you'll have to worry about that with comic books because they're newer. I didn't even know an auto 1 and an auto 2 even existed, like the grade of it, until I read this. So I was like, oh, I've never even seen one. So it obviously doesn't exist. Let me make this small again. So here it is. This is what a Gem 10 auto means. An autograph, virtual perfect autograph. Attributes include bold writing with the absence of skipping or retracing by the original owner or otherwise. Sometimes someone will draw, I'm like, oh, I didn't make my S right, so I'll redo the S. The autographs must be strong and clear for a particular signer. Example, genuine Mickey Mantle, which is a baseball player, autograph is bold but seems rushed or slightly uncharismatic in formation, though genuine, it may not receive a 10. So if Mickey Mantle or Stan Lee, well, they're all dead. But Jim Lee, let's put Jim Lee. If he's there and he's just like super quick and doesn't look that great, it's not going to get an auto 10. It must be beautiful in terms of placement, but also represent the common traditional autograph patterns of the person. So how Stan Lee has, it's big and bold and, the whole thing's like this. Opposed to someone else like mine, I do a big D and a big W and everything else is really small. So it would have to look like that every single time. So PS9 auto is like, obviously gets less and less and less. But like I said, you're not going to see anything in the 7 or anything like that. You're not going to see that. That won't happen with newer signatures and stuff like that. But there is a way that you can see below this, like all the way down here, like a poor. Now, let's look at this good. A PSA 2 is an autograph that exhibits significant flaws throughout. The autograph may have lost up to approximately 75% of its visible content to the naked eye. So, I don't know. It's like you can see like the pen indentation in it. I don't know. Under close scrutiny, the entire autograph may not be decipherable, but clear enough to determine authenticity. So barely there. If you got a 1, it exhibits extreme loss of eye appeal, can barely be deciphered under close scrutiny, but experts at this stage, the autograph is virtual, unrecognizable to the naked eye, and even experts may need assistance in advanced technology from the signer. You're not going to run into that. I would imagine that is something like, I have this old piece of paper signed by George Washington himself, and they're looking at it and like, I can't even tell. It looks like a big ink smudge with like pieces missing and everything like that. It's like, there's no way this is George Washington. You can't even see anything. It's like a couple of dots of ink, basically. So they'll have to do like advanced technology to like, oh, this piece of paper did belong way back in time. It would have blah, 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 blah. So you won't have to deal with the comics. Yeah. So that's not something I think I would ever have to worry about at all. Let's look at the pricing. Let's break down the pricing and let's compare it to CGC. Make sure you guys see that. So pricing breakdown. Modern will be $51. Now, does this include the grading as well? Or is it just 51? What a weird number. 51 for modern. Modern Plus 64. Vintage 75. This has to include the grading. That doesn't make any sense. Like, that's pretty expensive. Each premium is greater notes annually occur. Autographs another level. Doesn't say anywhere, but that's isn't like to grade a modern like whatever $25-$30. How can it be double the price? I'm not gonna sit here and try to read the entire thing, but I would imagine it would include the grading itself. I'm not talking about the grading of the autograph. I'm talking about the grading. Say you sent in a raw comic book, wherever a raw comic book is, a raw comic book, and you're like, it has a Stanley signature. It's like, I want you to grade this and the signature. Now you're paying, say it's a modern comic book, say it's that X-Men 1. And how many signatures does it do? What if you have one of those Spider-Man 700s where it has a million different signatures? Is it just a flat fee? I mean, in that case, it's a pretty good deal. I don't think they thought about this very much, to be honest. I'm like looking. So here's the thing. This is where, okay, now I understand what's kind of going on. This is basically pulled directly from their card grading. That's why they had the 10-point scale. They probably modeled this little premium little thing, this thing a little bit, right? This price breakdown, dual service. Okay, dual service. It has to include the grading. That's the only thing that makes sense. But this is where I think they didn't realize something. With cards, let's say you have a Michael Jordan card. Who's signing the card? Michael Jordan. That's it. This was the only person that could ever possibly sign that card. Who else would be on there? Anyone else on there? Let's say Scottie Pippen put his name on there. That'd be weird. The only time I could see that is if you had a tiny little card and it had like maybe a picture of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and they both signed it. Okay, that'd be kind of cool. I don't think that exists very often, but sure. So maybe the most you could have is 2 people on it. With comics, like the Spider-Man 700, you could have Spider-Man 700 Martin variant autos. So let's look at this one right here. Just this simple picture. I don't know where it goes. Okay. Hey, it's us. What do you know? I didn't even realize that. Anyways, you can have all these autographs on it. Look at all these autographs. I've seen ones. The biggest one I've ever seen was 23. We had one that was signed by 23. This one's signed by 8 people. That's funny. That's ours. So by signed by 23 people. So that means you have to do 23. And that's more common on a comic book because of the simple fact that you have writers, you have artists, you have inkers, you have letterers, you have the editor itself. You have a lot more people working on a comic than just a card, which is just a picture of Michael Jordan or Tom Brady or whatever. So if this is a dual service, so $51, that's not bad because it gets, what is there? Let me see. PSA comic fees. Why do I have to Google this stuff? It should just be right there on the top. Here we are. Okay. So modern is $30. That is what a modern costs. And if you get the auto, so you're paying $21? $21, essentially, to get it graded with an auto. Okay, what does CGC cost? This is JSA, so they have the signature up here. This is if it's there physically there. But if you just have an autograph on, say, this right here, and you send it in, this is what it'll cost. That's their JSA. That's what they call it. $25 per autograph. So that's what you're doing. $25 per autograph. And what do they cost? Oops. What do they cost to grade it? Oh, these are all new things. If I do a bulk, let's just do one. $25. Okay, so they're $27 to grade a modern, but $25 to do the autograph, while PSA is $30 to grade a modern, but then what I say, like $21 to do an autograph. So cheaper. But, big but here, coming through, it's with CGC, it's per autograph. Per autograph. So if you have this Spider-Man right here with all these autographs, you're paying $25 per autograph. Where there's 8 on here. So that's $200. $200 to get this verified. And by the way, they suck. JSA sucks. I'm sorry. I have sent in stuff that was, you know how they give the gold label, meaning that they've, not the black and gold, but the straight gold. That means that they were physically there, present, and it was a Stan Lee signature, and I wanted to get a better grade, sent it in, couldn't authenticate it. And I'm like, it was already authenticated before. I had to send it 4 times. Then they finally went through. Stupid. So dumb. I was like, you guys are blind. Like, I'm sorry. I know I've been in this job a long time, so maybe I take things for granted, but I can spot a Stan Lee signature a mile away, and a lot of people are like, oh, you're not an expert. Yes, I am. At this point, I am. I've seen enough signatures to know what it looks like, and yeah. And let me tell you, the own experts, they couldn't even spot it. They were like, oh, it's not authentic. I'm like, you guys were physically there the first time. The first time it was signed. So I sent it in again. Not authenticated. Okay. Sent it in the next time, and I was like, oh, what do you know? It got authenticated. Oh. Idiots. Anyways. So, I think, I'm like trying to scroll through here really fast. Maybe I should have read this beforehand. But I see nothing anywhere. Add a level of credibility. You won't wait much longer. Dual service. Choose authenticate the autograph alone, or you can authenticate and grade the autograph along with it. See, I'm still not clear now. So now I can get the autograph with just an authentic autograph. That's how they do it. Or I can get the autograph with the grade. Okay, do I have to start a submission? Man, I don't even know what my login is. In any case, I'm pretty sure this comes with it, because if this was $50 and it's twice as expensive than CGC. But if you have 2 autographs on a book, then it equals to be about the same. So then if you have 8 autographs on a book, then it's definitely worth it. So that's kind of like where we're at. Overall, what do I think of this? I don't know. I have to figure out this. I mean, it's hard to say, like with the pictures. I'm just so used to seeing like the gold label to note. And I wish there would be a little more flash letting you know that it was like signed. You just get a little line of text right next to where the description is. By the way, the description is even smaller. Like you have the book that says X-Men 1, and then you have that thing under it. Who knows what it even says, so small. And then the autograph is slightly bigger font. It's like you have all this room on the label. Could you please? I know why they don't want to put it in the middle. CGC puts it in the middle. Oh my God. You have all this room. Could you just increase the font size so people could actually see? I can read the X-Men #1, but that could be much, much bigger. It could be. You have all this blank space. You're not filling it up with anything. If you had like this big plan that you're going to put something there, awesome. Okay, we're going to put something there. Don't wait. Don't worry. Just wait. But you have all this room. And it's just like, yeah. So it's like the red, it is what it is. It's growing on me. But I wish there was a little more flash to it, letting you know that it was signed, because most people are going to gloss over that and not even see it. And you have so much room. Whatever. I mean, the whole grading and the autograph thing, I guess it makes sense. Like there are better autographs than other ones by the same person. Okay. Hopefully their authentication process is better. It probably will be because it's been around a lot longer. CGC, no good. Because here's the thing. When you pay for an autograph, it's like, oh, yeah, it's only $25. But when you send it in, it's like not authenticated, which is not the first time it's happened. It's happened multiple times. And I'm like, oh, my God. You guys are so terrible at your job. Then it's like, okay, now I have to send it in again to get re-authenticated all over again. And everything. It's just, it's a pain is what it is. It costs a lot of money. Yeah. So, also, CGC changed their label. Not a big change. But, which one's the new one? Okay. Basically right up here. Now, I'll get rid of this so you guys can see. All right, so basically up here, right up here, the CGC now has, you can't really see, the CGC on the new one has the little CGC logo, which is like, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be, like a weighing, an old way to weigh things. What that has to do with comics, who knows. And then on the back, or on the top, if you guys can see, there we go. See the difference at the top? See how one says CGC now? Look at the blue. See, it's different. There you go. There's the big change that happened on the CGC label. The back, it's not red anymore. It's now black. Look at the CGC logo itself. See how one's red and one's black? The black one is the new one. I just now realized they probably changed. Yeah, they changed the red. See the red one? And now it's black? Because PSA is red. They probably have nothing to do with anything that has to do with red. Let's get rid of red altogether. Anything red, destroy it. That's pretty stupid, if that's true. I knocked my camera out. What's going on? There we go. Whoops. I was on the wrong thing. I hit something. I got so excited and knocked something over. Anyways, that's it. Let me know what you think of the PSA stuff. I can already tell what people are going to, they're going to say they hate it. But I'm with an open mind. I just wish they'd make the font bigger. And then really got to figure out what the $50.99 includes. Does it include unlimited autographs? Are you putting it on there just thinking only one person's going to sign it? Because that's not usually the case. It's more common to have multiple signatures on something. So have a good day.